The message vibrated against the table like a nervous heartbeat. A simple line on my screen. We good? No name, just the question. And somehow I knew it wasn't for me. My wife sat across from me at the breakfast bar, stirring her coffee with slow, circular indifference. The metallic clink of the spoon felt louder than the question waiting on my phone. She didn't look at me, not even when the vibration repeated. Once, then again, like someone desperate for reassurance. I watched her eyes flick toward her own phone, face down beside her elbow. A tiny smile, half suppressed. That was the moment everything shifted. No warning, no explosion, just tilt. Like the floor moved an inch to the left and never moved back. I said nothing, she said nothing, but the silence changed temperature. Colder, sharper, intentional. I kept my face still, my voice buried, my pulse trapped beneath my ribs. But inside, the gears began turning. Slow, grinding, irrevocable. Because I had seen that message before. Different night, different room, same tension. Her sister's birthday, truth or dare. Her male best friend taking her hand, leading her into the hallway, both of them laughing too softly, like conspirators. 15 minutes behind a closed door. Her messy hair, his neck smeared in lipstick, everyone pretending it was nothing. Her brushing past me with that same tiny secret smile. And now this message. We good? No, not anymore. I replayed that night more often than I should have, the memory warped now by hindsight. At the time, I told myself it was the alcohol, the game, the amateur dares. People do stupid things when they want to appear fun. I'd forced a laugh, ignored the tightening in my chest, and swallowed the unease like a pill too large to go down smoothly. But the details refused to fade. The way her best friend couldn't meet my eyes afterward. The way she said, "Relax, it was a task," and then pivoted, almost proudly, adding, "Then I got a task with your sister." Like it was a joke, like betrayal could be packaged as entertainment. I remember standing in the doorway of that crowded living room, feeling detached from my own body, watching her hair spill over her shoulders in tangled waves. I didn't want to believe it then. I tried not to. I tried to be rational, forgiving, calm. But suspicion has a way of burrowing, a quiet animal beneath the floorboards. And when the message arrived, weeks later, long after the laughter of that night had faded, it crawled back into the light. Her coffee spoon scraped again. She finally looked at me. "You okay?" she asked. I nodded, a perfectly measured lie, because something inside me had already begun its quiet shift from confusion to certainty, from wounded to calculating. Not enough to accuse her, just enough to investigate. I started with small things. Phone records. Not hers, mine. Checking when certain numbers called, when her best friend's calls overlapped with times she ran errands or visited her sister. Patterns emerged like bruises. Then small observations. Perfume she didn't wear for me. Clothes slightly out of place. The soft hum of secret messages disappearing from her screen before I entered the room. But I stayed still, emotionless on the surface. We slept beside each other, her back to me. I'd watch the shadow of her breathing against the wall and wonder if she felt any guilt at all. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. I didn't need her guilt. I needed the truth. So I collected it, quietly. A forgotten receipt from a bar she'd said she never went to. A photo on her cloud backup. Just a corner of a shoulder. A smear of red lipstick on skin not hers. I sent a request for location logs from our service provider. She thought I was upstairs reading. I wasn't. When the report came, I studied it with the detachment of a surgeon. Times, addresses, coordinates that lined up too neatly with his apartment. No confrontation, not yet. Suspense thrives in silence, and I needed her comfortable, careless. I needed her to keep lying. And she did, effortlessly. But every lie she told built a staircase beneath my feet, leading me to a place beyond doubt, a place of clarity, a place of cold, precise purpose. The final confirmation arrived on a Thursday afternoon, a printed report from the location logs, time-stamped, irrefutable. Her phone at his apartment, late, often. The same night she came home with that faint, unfamiliar scent on her clothes. I didn't react, not outwardly. I waited until evening, until she sat on the sofa scrolling, legs tucked beneath her like nothing in the world was wrong. I placed the report on the coffee table in front of her. No words. She glanced at it, then at me. A tiny laugh escaped her, Reflex. Brittle. Seriously? You're checking up on me now? I said nothing. She flipped through the pages, the color draining from her face in slow, careful degrees. Her breath shook. Her fingers trembled. For the first time, she looked afraid. Where did you get this? She whispered. I met her eyes. Calm, steady, far beyond anger. She reached for me, voice cracking. I can explain. But explanations are for the uncertain, and I was no longer uncertain. I stood, walked to the counter, and retrieved my phone. I opened a folder I'd created carefully over the last 2 weeks. Screenshots, photos, location data, timestamps. I placed the phone beside the report. Her eyes widened, horror settling into her posture like a weight she couldn't lift. You knew, she breathed. I nodded once. And you let me? Yes, I said quietly. Her lips parted, shaking, tears forming. Not from regret. No, from consequence. You don't understand, she whispered. It wasn't. It was, I said. 3 words. Soft. Final. She tried to stand, reaching toward me again. I stepped back. Not dramatically, just enough. The distance destroyed her. And then I delivered the quiet blow. I'm done participating in your games. She broke. A sound escaped her, half sob, half plea, as her knees buckled back onto the couch. But I felt nothing. Not anger, not satisfaction. Just release. A clean severing. I packed that night. Not hurried, not emotional. Methodical. She watched from the doorway, tears streaking her cheeks, begging for a chance to explain, to undo the evidence sitting like a corpse on the table. I didn't raise my voice, not once, because power doesn't shout. It withdraws. When I closed the suitcase, she whispered, Please, don't leave like this. I paused, looked at her one last time, and felt absolutely nothing. I'm leaving exactly like this, I said. Then I walked out of the house, the door clicking shut behind me with a quiet finality that echoed louder than any scream. In the silence of my car, I exhaled. Not in pain, not in grief, just clarity. Some endings don't burn, they freeze. And in that cold, I finally felt clean.